What you add to your coffee each morning could be aging your cells, or helping them renew themselves. And today you're going to understand why. If you are over 60 and coffee is part of your daily ritual, what you are about to learn may completely change the way you look at that warm cup in your hands every morning. This is not about miracles, and it is not about fear. It is about understanding what science has discovered in recent years about how the body ages and how certain natural compounds can support the body's ability to repair itself. Many people believe that aging is simply a matter of time passing. But researchers who study aging know that the story is more complex. Aging is deeply connected to what happens inside our cells. When we are young, our cells are constantly renewing themselves. Old or damaged cells are replaced by new ones, tissues repair themselves quickly, and the body maintains a balance between damage and regeneration. But as the years pass, this balance begins to change. Scientists describe one of the key processes behind aging as cellular senescence. In simple terms, senescent cells are cells that have stopped functioning normally but have not died. Instead of contributing to healthy tissues, they remain in place and release inflammatory signals that can damage surrounding cells. Some researchers even call them zombie cells, because they are no longer functioning properly but still influence the environment around them. Over time, the accumulation of these cells contributes to chronic inflammation, fatigue, slower tissue repair, and a decline in overall health. Another crucial piece of this puzzle involves stem cells. Stem cells are special cells responsible for regeneration. They help repair damaged tissues, maintain organs, and support the renewal of many parts of the body. When stem cells function efficiently, the body maintains a remarkable capacity for recovery and adaptation. However, as we age, the activity of stem cells can decrease. They become less responsive, less active, and less capable of replacing damaged cells. This combination of accumulating senescent cells and declining stem cell activity is one of the biological foundations of aging. The good news is that scientists have discovered that lifestyle factors and certain natural compounds can influence these processes. Some compounds appear to reduce inflammation, help the body manage damaged cells, and support environments where stem cells function more effectively. This does not mean reversing aging overnight, but it does mean that the body may respond positively when it receives the right signals and nutrients. One of the most interesting places to introduce these beneficial compounds is in something millions of people already consume daily: coffee. Coffee is one of the most widely consumed beverages in the world, and surprisingly, it is also one of the richest sources of antioxidants in many diets. Antioxidants help neutralize oxidative stress, a process that damages cells over time. Studies published in major scientific journals have linked moderate coffee consumption, typically 1 to 3 cups per day, with lower risks of certain neurodegenerative diseases, improved liver health, and even reduced risk of some cardiovascular conditions when consumed as part of a healthy lifestyle. But coffee by itself is only part of the story. When combined with certain ingredients, coffee can become something much more powerful from a nutritional perspective. Think of it like an engine. An engine may function well on its own, but when it receives the right fuel, lubrication, and maintenance, it performs better and lasts longer. In a similar way, adding specific natural ingredients to coffee may enhance its potential benefits. Today we are going to explore several of these ingredients, each supported by research and traditional use, and understand how they may support the body's natural systems, including inflammation control, metabolism, and cellular renewal. But before we explore those ingredients, it is important to remember something essential. No food or beverage works in isolation. The human body responds to patterns, not single actions. Nutrition, sleep, movement, emotional health, and consistency over time all interact to influence well-being. Coffee with beneficial ingredients can be one helpful piece of a much larger picture. And at the end of this discussion, you will also discover the most important factor that determines whether these habits truly make a difference over time. Many people overlook this factor, yet it is the foundation that allows everything else to work effectively. For now, let's begin with the first key ingredient that can transform your morning coffee into something that supports your body in remarkable ways. Let's begin with one of the most studied natural ingredients in modern nutritional science, turmeric. Many people know turmeric simply as a yellow spice used in cooking, especially in traditional dishes across Asia and Latin America. For generations, families have used it not only as a flavoring but also as a traditional remedy for inflammation, digestive discomfort, and general well-being. What is fascinating is that modern research has confirmed that this ancient ingredient contains compounds with powerful biological effects. The most important of these compounds is called curcumin. Curcumin is responsible for the vibrant golden color of turmeric, but more importantly, it has been extensively studied for its anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. Chronic inflammation is now understood to be one of the central drivers of many age-related conditions. It can quietly damage tissues over years, contributing to cardiovascular disease, metabolic disorders, joint degeneration, and even certain neurological conditions. Curcumin works by interacting with several molecular pathways involved in inflammation. In simple terms, it helps regulate the chemical signals that tell the body to produce inflammatory responses. When these signals become excessive, inflammation persists longer than necessary, damaging healthy cells. Curcumin appears to help calm these signals and restore balance. Another area where curcumin has attracted scientific attention is cellular protection. Laboratory and clinical studies suggest that curcumin may help support the body's ability to manage damaged cells through natural biological processes such as apoptosis. Apoptosis is the mechanism through which the body removes cells that are no longer functioning properly. It is one of the ways the body maintains healthy tissues. While it is important to be cautious with claims, many researchers are interested in curcumin because it appears to influence cellular signaling pathways involved in inflammation, oxidative stress, and cell survival. For adults over 60, these processes are particularly relevant because the body's ability to regulate them becomes less efficient with age. Curcumin may also influence stem cell activity in certain contexts. Some studies examining mesenchymal stem cells, cells involved in repairing tissues such as cartilage, bone, and connective tissue, suggest that curcumin can support an environment where these cells function more effectively. Again, this does not mean miraculous regeneration, but it does indicate that certain natural compounds may contribute to healthier cellular environments. However, there is a detail about turmeric that many people do not know. Curcumin on its own is not easily absorbed by the body. When consumed alone, much of it passes through the digestive system without entering the bloodstream in significant amounts. Fortunately, researchers discovered a simple solution to this problem many years ago. When curcumin is combined with black pepper, its absorption can increase dramatically. Black pepper contains a compound called piperine. Piperine slows the breakdown of curcumin in the digestive tract, allowing more of it to enter circulation. Some studies have suggested that this combination can increase curcumin absorption by up to 20 times. Another factor that improves curcumin absorption is healthy fat. Curcumin is a fat-soluble compound, which means it dissolves more easily in fats than in water. This is why traditional cuisines that use turmeric often combine it with oils or coconut milk. Adding a small amount of healthy fat when consuming turmeric can help the body absorb it more effectively. So how can turmeric be incorporated into morning coffee? It is actually very simple. A small amount, about half a teaspoon of turmeric powder, can be added directly to the coffee. To enhance absorption, a tiny pinch of black pepper can also be included. Finally, adding a small amount of healthy fat, such as coconut oil or whole milk, helps complete the combination. The result is a warm, aromatic drink sometimes referred to as golden coffee, inspired by the traditional golden milk beverages used in several cultures. At first, the flavor may seem slightly unusual if you are not accustomed to spices in coffee. Turmeric has a mildly earthy taste, and black pepper adds a subtle warmth. However, many people find that after a few days the combination becomes surprisingly enjoyable, especially when balanced with the natural bitterness of coffee. But turmeric is only the beginning. There is another root, commonly used in kitchens around the world, that works beautifully alongside turmeric and may support circulation, digestion, and metabolic activity. This next ingredient has been valued for centuries by traditional healers, and modern research is beginning to reveal why. The second ingredient that can transform your morning coffee into something far more beneficial is ginger. This humble root has been used for thousands of years in traditional medicine systems across Asia, the Middle East, and Latin America. Our grandparents often recommended ginger tea for stomach discomfort, colds, or nausea. What is remarkable is that modern science has confirmed many of these traditional observations and has begun to uncover the biological mechanisms behind them. Ginger contains powerful natural compounds known as gingerols and shogales. These compounds are responsible for ginger's distinctive spicy flavor, but more importantly, they possess strong anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. As we discussed earlier, chronic inflammation is one of the major contributors to aging and many diseases that become more common after the age of 60. Conditions such as arthritis, cardiovascular disease, metabolic disorders, and even cognitive decline often share inflammation as a common underlying factor. Research published in journals such as Food and Function and the Journal of Nutrition suggests that ginger may help regulate inflammatory pathways in the body. In practical terms, this means ginger may support the body's ability to keep inflammation under control. For older adults who frequently experience joint stiffness or digestive discomfort, ginger may provide gentle support without the side effects often associated with some pharmaceutical anti-inflammatory drugs. But ginger does something else that is particularly interesting when it comes to metabolism. Several studies have shown that ginger can slightly increase thermogenesis, the process through which the body generates heat and burns calories. Thermogenesis plays a role in energy expenditure and metabolic activity. As people age, metabolism naturally slows down. This means the body burns fewer calories at rest, which can lead to increased fat accumulation and lower energy levels. Compounds in ginger appear to stimulate metabolic processes that help the body use energy more efficiently. Some studies have observed modest increases in calorie burning and improvements in metabolic markers among individuals who regularly consume ginger. While ginger alone is not a weight loss miracle, it can support a healthier metabolic environment when combined with balanced nutrition and regular physical activity. Another benefit of ginger involves circulation. Good circulation is essential for overall health, particularly in older adults. Blood carries oxygen, nutrients, and signaling molecules throughout the body. When circulation is optimal, tissues receive the resources they need to function and repair themselves. Ginger has been shown to support healthy blood flow by helping blood vessels relax and by influencing certain enzymes involved in vascular function. Improved circulation can contribute to warmer hands and feet, better oxygen delivery to the brain, and improved physical vitality. Ginger may also support digestion, which becomes increasingly important with age. Many adults notice that their digestion becomes slower or more sensitive over time. Ginger has long been known to stimulate digestive enzymes and promote smoother gastrointestinal activity. By supporting digestion, ginger may help the body absorb nutrients more effectively, something that becomes particularly valuable when trying to maintain energy and health in later years. Adding ginger to coffee is very simple. You can use ground ginger powder, about half a teaspoon, or grate a small piece of fresh ginger root directly into your cup. Fresh ginger offers a brighter, more aromatic flavor, while powdered ginger provides convenience and a slightly warmer taste. When combined with coffee and turmeric, ginger creates a complex flavor profile that is both spicy and comforting. Interestingly, these ingredients work well together not only in flavor but also biologically. Turmeric and ginger both help regulate inflammatory pathways, but they do so through slightly different mechanisms. When used together, they may create a broader anti-inflammatory effect. This concept is known as nutritional synergy, where multiple compounds support the body through complementary actions. However, there is another ingredient that many people already add to their coffee without realizing that it carries powerful benefits of its own. This ingredient has been studied for its potential effects on blood sugar regulation, brain protection, and antimicrobial activity. It is widely available, inexpensive, and when used correctly, it may become one of the most valuable additions to your daily routine. The third ingredient that can enhance your morning coffee is something many people already have in their kitchen: cinnamon. But not all cinnamon is exactly the same, and understanding the difference is important. The type most often recommended for regular consumption is Ceylon cinnamon, sometimes called true cinnamon. It has a milder flavor and contains lower levels of certain compounds that can accumulate in the body when consumed excessively. Cassia cinnamon, which is more common and cheaper, has a stronger flavor but also higher levels of coumarin, a substance that should be consumed in moderation. When possible, choosing Ceylon cinnamon provides the benefits while minimizing unnecessary risks. Cinnamon has been studied extensively for its effects on blood sugar regulation, which becomes increasingly important with age. As people grow older, the body often becomes less sensitive to insulin, the hormone responsible for moving glucose from the bloodstream into the cells where it is used for energy. When this process becomes inefficient, blood sugar levels can remain elevated for longer periods after meals. Over time, this can contribute to metabolic problems such as prediabetes, type 2 diabetes, and cardiovascular complications. One of the key compounds in cinnamon is cinnamaldehyde, which contributes to its aroma and flavor. Research suggests that cinnamaldehyde may help improve the way cells respond to insulin signals. In other words, it may help cells absorb glucose from the bloodstream more effectively. Several clinical studies have observed modest reductions in fasting blood glucose levels among individuals who regularly consume cinnamon as part of their diet. Beyond blood sugar control, cinnamon also contains powerful antioxidants. These compounds help neutralize free radicals, unstable molecules that damage cells and accelerate aging processes. Oxidative stress caused by free radicals can affect many systems in the body, including the cardiovascular system, the brain, and the immune system. Antioxidants act as a protective shield, helping reduce cellular damage and supporting healthier aging. Cinnamon has also attracted attention for its potential neuroprotective properties. Early laboratory research suggests that certain compounds found in cinnamon may influence pathways related to brain health and memory. Some studies have explored how cinnamon extracts may affect the buildup of proteins associated with neurodegenerative conditions. While more research is needed to fully understand these effects, the findings suggest that cinnamon may play a supportive role in maintaining cognitive function as we age. Another interesting property of cinnamon is its antimicrobial activity. Natural compounds in cinnamon can inhibit the growth of certain bacteria and fungi. This does not mean cinnamon replaces medical treatments, but it does suggest that including it in the diet may contribute to maintaining a balanced microbial environment in the body. Adding cinnamon to coffee is incredibly simple. About half a teaspoon stirred into a cup of coffee adds a warm, slightly sweet flavor without the need for sugar. Many people find that cinnamon naturally enhances the taste of coffee, making it smoother and more aromatic. When combined with turmeric and ginger, cinnamon helps create a rich blend of flavors that turns an ordinary cup of coffee into a comforting and health-supporting drink. What makes this combination especially interesting is how the ingredients complement one another. Turmeric supports inflammation balance, ginger encourages circulation and metabolic activity, and cinnamon helps stabilize blood sugar and provide antioxidant protection. Each ingredient contributes its own strengths, and together they create a nutritional synergy that supports the body in multiple ways. But there is another ingredient that plays a very different role in this mixture. While turmeric, ginger, and cinnamon mainly influence inflammation and metabolism, this next ingredient provides a unique type of fuel, especially for the brain. It has gained significant attention among researchers studying cognitive health and aging because of how the body processes it differently from most other fats. This ingredient is often controversial, sometimes misunderstood, and yet increasingly recognized for its potential role in supporting energy metabolism and brain function. And when added in small amounts to coffee, it creates a smooth, creamy texture while introducing a completely different metabolic pathway that may benefit adults over 60. The fourth ingredient often discussed in connection with coffee and metabolic health is coconut oil, particularly because it contains what are known as medium-chain triglycerides, or MCTs. Unlike most dietary fats, which are long-chain fatty acids that the body stores or processes slowly, MCTs are absorbed and metabolized in a different way. They are transported more directly to the liver, where they can be converted into ketones, an alternative energy source for the body and especially for the brain. This difference in metabolism is one reason coconut oil has attracted attention in research on aging and cognitive function. As the brain ages, its ability to use glucose, the primary fuel it relies on, can become less efficient in some individuals. This reduced glucose metabolism has been observed in conditions associated with cognitive decline. Ketones, however, can serve as a secondary energy source that the brain can use even when glucose metabolism is impaired. Because MCTs from coconut oil are rapidly converted into ketones, researchers have explored whether incorporating them into the diet might provide an additional energy pathway for brain cells. Some early studies and case reports have suggested improvements in certain cognitive markers among older adults who consumed MCT-rich foods regularly. While these findings are still being studied and should not be interpreted as a cure for cognitive disorders, they highlight an interesting metabolic pathway that may support brain energy metabolism. In simple terms, coconut oil may help provide the brain with an alternative form of fuel, especially when used in moderation as part of a balanced diet. Coconut oil also interacts with other ingredients we have already discussed. Remember how turmeric's active compound, curcumin, is fat-soluble? That means it dissolves better in fats than in water. When a small amount of coconut oil is added to coffee along with turmeric, it can help improve the absorption of curcumin. This is an example of nutritional synergy, where one ingredient enhances the effectiveness of another. In addition, MCTs may contribute modestly to metabolic efficiency. Because the body burns these fats quickly for energy, they are less likely to be stored compared to many other dietary fats. Some studies have observed slight increases in thermogenesis and energy expenditure when MCTs are included in the diet. While this does not replace proper nutrition and physical activity, it may support metabolic balance. Another interesting aspect of coconut oil is its potential influence on satiety, or the feeling of fullness. Many people report that adding a small amount of healthy fat to their morning coffee helps them feel satisfied for longer periods, reducing unnecessary snacking throughout the morning. For individuals managing blood sugar levels or trying to maintain a healthy weight, this can be a helpful side effect. To include coconut oil in coffee, the recommended approach is simple. Start with about half a teaspoon to 1 teaspoon stirred into a cup of hot coffee. Because coconut oil melts easily, it blends smoothly into the beverage. Some people like to mix it using a small blender or frother, which creates a creamy texture similar to a latte. If you are new to coconut oil, beginning with a small amount is wise, as the digestive system sometimes needs time to adjust. However, it is important to remember that coconut oil is still a concentrated source of calories. Moderation is essential, particularly for individuals with specific dietary restrictions or cardiovascular concerns. As with any dietary change, consulting a healthcare professional is always recommended, especially for those managing medical conditions. Now that we have discussed turmeric, ginger, cinnamon, and coconut oil, we have a combination that supports inflammation balance, circulation, metabolism, and brain energy. But there is still one more ingredient that many people are now adding to their coffee, especially adults concerned with joint health, skin elasticity, and connective tissue repair. This final ingredient has become increasingly popular in recent years, not because it is new, but because scientists have begun to understand how it supports the structural framework of the body. It is a protein that exists naturally in our tissues, but whose production declines significantly as we age. And when it begins to decline, many of the physical changes associated with aging start to appear. The fifth ingredient that many people are now adding to their morning coffee is hydrolyzed collagen. Collagen is the most abundant protein in the human body. It acts like a structural framework that helps hold many tissues together, including skin, cartilage, tendons, bones, and blood vessels. In simple terms, collagen is part of what gives the body strength, elasticity, and resilience. However, collagen production begins to decline naturally with age. Starting around the age of 30, the body slowly produces less collagen each year. After 60, this decline becomes more noticeable. Many of the changes associated with aging, such as wrinkles, joint stiffness, slower recovery from injuries, and reduced bone density, are partially connected to this gradual loss of collagen. Hydrolyzed collagen, sometimes called collagen peptides, is a form of collagen that has been broken down into smaller molecules. This process makes it easier for the body to absorb and use. When consumed regularly, collagen peptides provide amino acids that the body can use as building blocks to support connective tissues. Several scientific studies have explored the effects of collagen supplementation in older adults. Research published in journals such as the Journal of Arthritis and the British Journal of Nutrition has found that collagen supplementation may help improve joint comfort, support cartilage health, and contribute to maintaining bone strength. Some studies have also shown improvements in skin elasticity and hydration after several months of consistent use. But collagen also has an indirect relationship with the topic we discussed earlier, cellular regeneration. The stem cells responsible for repairing tissues, especially mesenchymal stem cells, depend on a supportive structural environment to function effectively. Connective tissue and extracellular matrix components, which include collagen fibers, form part of that environment. By supplying the body with collagen peptides, you help provide the structural materials that these repair processes rely on. This does not mean collagen alone can rebuild tissues instantly. The body's repair systems operate gradually and depend on multiple factors, including nutrition, movement, sleep, and overall health. But providing the body with the raw materials it needs can support those processes over time. One advantage of hydrolyzed collagen is that it is very easy to incorporate into daily routines. Collagen powder is typically flavorless and dissolves well in hot beverages. A single tablespoon stirred into coffee blends almost completely without altering the taste. For many people, this makes it one of the simplest ways to include collagen in the diet. When combined with the ingredients we have already discussed, turmeric, ginger, cinnamon, and coconut oil, collagen becomes part of a broader nutritional approach. Each ingredient contributes something different. Turmeric helps regulate inflammation. Ginger supports circulation and digestion. Cinnamon assists with blood sugar balance. Coconut oil provides an alternative energy source for the brain. And collagen supplies amino acids that help support connective tissues. Think of it as building a supportive internal environment. If the body is like a garden, stem cells are the seeds with the potential to regenerate tissues. But seeds alone cannot grow if the soil is poor. The environment must contain the right nutrients, balanced conditions, and supportive structures. Reducing inflammation, supporting metabolism, and providing structural proteins all contribute to creating a healthier internal environment. However, even with all these ingredients combined, there is something even more important that determines whether these habits truly make a difference. Many people search for a single miracle ingredient, but the truth is that the human body does not work that way. The most powerful factor influencing long-term health is something much simpler, something that costs nothing and yet determines the effectiveness of every healthy habit.